Morning campers. Yeah, well today I'm hiding my hair because I've kind of realised that after 12 weeks my roots are ridiculous and they kind of need dyeing rather quickly because I can literally see them and they look awful. They're like this long now. Some of them are longer. It's ridiculous. They need dyeing like absolutely ASAP. So to cover up my roots I have bought this, and this is the Superdrug Colour Performance dye and it's in shade 2.0 natural black. Usually I dye my hair black and it's usually like either a natural black or a jet black. This is the one that I went for. It was in the 3 for £10 offer on Superdrug and I thought, well, cheap cheerful, funds are tight at the minute, let's just get it and bung it on my roots and see what happens. So inside the box you get one of these, which is your colour developer, one of these which is your cream colour thingy itself, and then one of these which is your colour conditioner. You get quite a lot in the colour conditioner actually compared to some brands. The first thing I will say was that the minute I opened the box, it literally, you can smell the dye. It's one of these cheapy kind of dyes and you can literally just smell the chemicals radiating straight off it the minute you open the box. So that's something to be warned of. Obviously, if you're using this to dye your hair, do make sure you do it in a well ventilated place because it's rather stinky. It's not great. It's like burning the hairs now. I've taken everything out of the box. So what you do get is a rather runny colour developer. Look at that, look how runny that is. It's a lot runnier compared to dyes that I usually use. So for example, the Garnier Nutrice that I usually use, the developer is a lot thicker than this. It's not quite as thin as the one that you get with the Schwarzkopf Only Love dye. That was like milk. However, it's getting on for that. This is like the consistency of egg whites. It's quite runny. Hopefully this isn't going to run across my scalp and like literally pour off the top of my head when I try and like dye my roots. I have had instances where I've used cheaper dyes like this before. I've used the Colour Performance's predecessor, which was also a Superdrug own brand, and that was horrendous. That literally ran straight down my hair rather than like actually sitting on my scalp because it was literally just like black coloured water. It was awful. So I have this. You get rather a lot of the colour cream, permanent cream colour thingy, which is a good sign. With my Garnier Nutrice it tends to be quite small. Like, so this has got 50 ml in it. I think the Nutrice one's about 40 or 45, so you get a bit more in this. It does smell. It is this that's making the smell, one of the things anyway. This is where the like ammonia kind of smell's coming from, and then the bulk of the chemically kind of, it's like a chemically perfumey kind of smell, like someone sprayed perfume to try and cover up the chemicals, and the bulk of that is this. It just absolutely reeks. Like literally to the point where I kind of worried that the bottle inside had split, but it does absolutely stink. And then last of all we have the Superdrug Intensive Colour Conditioner, which you use after you've washed the dye off. It says same with Shine Elixir. Last time I used it, it didn't have like the little Shine Elixir thing in it. It was just like a bog standard conditioner. It says after shampooing, apply Superdrug Intensive Colour Conditioner to your hair, leave for 2 minutes and then rinse, dry thoroughly and style as required. This intensive colour conditioner is specifically formulated for the needs of colour treated hair. Ooh. It contains a specially formulated Shine Elixir with provitamin B5, which is good for hair, and fruit extracts that leave your hair in great condition. Use week after week for silky shiny hair and to keep your hair visibly brighter for longer. My hair has a tendency to drink conditioner. Like literally I put it on my hair and it soaks it all in, especially after I've dyed it. So where this says on the back we use week after week, this is probably going to last me 1, maybe 2 applications. So Mr. Superdrug, and a bigger thing of conditioner might be a good idea, or at least let us buy this in a bigger tub separately, maybe. Oh, this also stinks. It said it had fruit extracts in it, so I kind of thought it would smell like actual fruit, but there's like a little bit on the Oh. This smells almost as bad as the dye. I don't like the smell of that at all. That's going to make my hair absolutely stink while it's gone. Ooh. I'd be interested to see what makes my hair smell more, this or this. Well, campers, I currently look at like some kind of creature that's crawled out of the Black Lagoon. You can see where all the dyes come like all around my head, and it's basically blobbed everywhere, but that's main rootage bit done. I've got like 20 minutes with my hair like this, and then I have like another 10 after I've shoved the rest of the bottle through. My roots were quite long, about 3-4 inches long, and I've used about half the bottle doing my roots, and then so I've got the other half the bottle just to work in towards the end, just to refresh the colour afterwards, and then I'm going to use a colour mask just because I prefer the Pantene colour mask to the conditioner that Superdrug provide. The reason I've got the cling film over the top, and the reason why it's all run down like the side of my head and made me look like some kind of miner that's come out of the pits, is because the dye is horrendously runny. It's so bad. It's so bad. Cheap dyes in general tend to be quite runny, and this one was no exception. It's literally like water. It has the consistency of water, even though like you shuck it up and it's been perfectly fine inside the bottle. The minute it sort of like gets exposed to the air and comes onto your hair, it's all runny. It just turns into water. So it's like trying to have like a black waterfall oozing down the side of my head and then like trying to stop it. It's just one of those ultra runny dyes, and you kind of think, it's going to go everywhere. So if you've got like a white painted bathroom, you might want to put down loads and loads and loads of old towels and move anything away that you don't want to get stained, because it's going to get stained. I even put a line of lip balm around the top of my head. I find that usually works slightly better than Vaseline. However, I have been stained, so I'm going to have like black bits and black ears and walking around looking a bit weird and wonderful for the next couple of days until my skin like sheds these dyed layers off. But there we have it. Well, campers, I have now gone and washed all the dye and the conditioner off and dried my hair, and it feels okay actually. I did think, because I'd like blobbed it, that it was really going to stain my head, but I do have an oil-based cleanser that I use, and it seems to have lifted most of it around my scalp where it was all blobbed. It did sort of go onto my hair and then go slightly blue. Usually when I use black dyes, they're like a dark coffee colour kind of brown, but this one was like a bluey purple. When I washed it off, the water was literally running off my hair, like mixtures of blues and purples and reds, so it was quite an odd experience. Although I suppose, having done chromatography where some black pens have got reds and blues and purples in them, it's probably not surprising, given that that's probably pretty much made out of. My hair does feel very icky. Like, I'm literally running my hands through it and some of my hair is coming away. My hair does do that anyway. I do have a fair bit of hair fall, but I've noticed that after this dye in particular, it does seem very brittle. And even though I've recently had my hair cut and had all like my split ends chopped off, it is starting to like knot and feel especially dry, fried and damaged again at the ends. And it's only been like 2 weeks. As predicted, the conditioner only lasted me literally the first wash, so I'm going to have to dig out a colour conditioner from another supermarket or somewhere else to use in the meantime. It has made my hair smell. I can smell, it smells like heavily chemically treated now, my hair, which is rather, I've sprayed it with like body spray, which is probably like an absolute no-no, and it still absolutely reeks. Like, no trace of the perfume at all is on my hair. It just smells, it smells awful. I can't wait to wash it again and just wash it all off, because it's just, ugh. Colour-wise, it's done quite a good job of blending in, especially with like the other kinds of dyes. It is more of what I would say a jet black than a natural black. Natural black to me is kind of like, almost like a brown black kind of colour. This one is like black. Like, I'm trying to find something black that's on my desk. Probably like this coloured black. Like black like tyres kind of colour. It's very obviously artificial, very, very monotonal, so you can kind of tell that it's dyed. It's It does the job though. It will be interesting to see how much of it actually washes out. I've used cheaper dyes before. I used the Advanced Techniques one from Avon, and that very slowly washed out over the period that I had it in my hair for. This one, however, I'm hoping will not. It is a permanent dye, so I kind of am hoping that it doesn't wash out slowly over time, especially given as that it says that it should last for up to 6 weeks. So, although saying that, so does the Garnier one. The Garnier one also says that it should last for up to 6 weeks. However, it usually grows out of my hair, and I've never had a problem with it washing out, apart from when the colour bleeds for the first couple of washes or so. But then again, I'd expect that because my hair is quite damaged and quite porous anyway, and dyeing it seems to leave even more damage. I will say my hair does feel kind of plasticky. It's a weird thing to say, I know, but it does feel like there's like a plasticky kind of sheen on it. I don't think that's just from where I've sprayed the perfume in my hair, because it was like that before I sprayed the perfume in. It might be some of the residual waxes from the conditioner. I found that some cheaper colour conditioners do leave residues like this in my hair. It's okay. As cheap dyes go, it's okay. It's worked. I no longer have roots, like horrendously long roots, so that's a bonus. That's a bonus. It's I think it looks perfectly okay, actually. What I do think is that my hair needs a hair mask like ASAP. Thankfully I have one, so I'm going to be plonking my Pantene hair mask on over the top and leaving it on for quite a while. Would I buy this again? Yes, definitely. I'll be interested actually to see if there's any difference between this and Superdrug do another own brand one called Colour Vibrancy, also in a black colour. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any difference between this one and that one. Perhaps I'll have a go with that one next time. But 3 for £10, I mean, if you're only buying it to do your roots with, that's a pretty good offer. Like, especially if you're cash strapped like me. So students, if you need dye, this is a good one. And it's not left my hair with an odd coloured tint in it either, like the polycolour tint thingy kind of went all green. So that's a bonus. It has also covered my grey hair on my temples particularly well, and the white hair that it grows like right on my parting, right on my widow's peak. So that's a good thing as well. I didn't quite expect it to cover that, because I find that cheaper dyes tend not to stick into the grey hairs because they're so resistant. I do leave this on for slightly longer than it does suggest. I think I left it on for like 45 minutes in total, and that was with just on the root application and then running the other half of the bottle through my lengths and ends just to like top up the colour. But yeah, I'd definitely buy it again. I'd probably give it, I'll give it a 7, because it scores quite strongly on the actual colour payoff, and the fact it was so easy to get off my skin afterwards. I was slightly worried because I've used this dye before, this dye's predecessor, and it stained my skin, and I was walking around with like a whole dark blue forehead and dark blue ears for weeks and weeks afterwards, literally until the skin shedded itself was my skin blue for. So that's quite a while. It's not ideal either. But this one, it's washed straight off, which I really wasn't expecting. It washed straight off with just a little bit of cleanser, so that's a bonus. The only reason I've taken marks off for it is because it does absolutely reek. My bathroom, I had like all the windows in the bathroom open, and there was a breeze blowing through, and it still manages to absolutely stink out my bathroom. If you have got asthma, I would be quite wary of using this dye because of how strong the fumes are from it. Other than that, as long as you're somewhere that's incredibly well ventilated, I think if I use this again, it will be in summer, and I would do it outside on a nice day, because then I've not got to bother about stinking up my house, have I really? So, but other than that, the colour payoff's very decent. I do like it. It's made me feel a bit more like me again, and I haven't got like 3-inch long roots anymore. So if you like this video, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up. Don't forget to say hi in the comments, and if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing and some other videos into my weird and little wonderful world, click the subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.